What's going on, guys? It's STG. Thought I'd do a little recap of my first coin show that I went to, as well as what I did after the coin show. I scored a couple pickups after the show. So, guys, let me tell you my experience. So, this was my very first coin show. It was the New York International Numismatic Convention, and I was really excited to go. I had been looking forward to this for a while. I had gone into my LCS, and he had actually told me that there are no American coins at this convention. I was like, okay, that's no problem. I collect some international coins as well. So, guys, I went there. I got there pretty early. They started the show for non-dealers at around 10 o'clock on Friday the 13th. I went there. I was one of the first people in there. Looked around, talked to a couple of the dealers. My experience was that some of the dealers were pretty nice. You showed a little knowledge about a certain series of coins, and they would talk to you. They'd be a little bit friendly to you. I noticed that this was an international coin show, guys. It wasn't an American coin show. I'd say a lot of the coins there, maybe at least half of them, were ancient coins. For some reason, they had a lot of ancient Greek and Roman silver and gold coins, which really doesn't appeal to me. The other coins, I'd say maybe another 25% were British coins. For some reason, they had tons and tons of British coins or British territories. They had not as many. I was looking mostly for Australian coins because, guys, I got a lot of Australian viewers here. Thank you for watching my channel. I figured I would pick up some Aussie coins, maybe some British sovereigns if I saw any. So I first went around. I started talking with a guy about he was actually in the show in Orlando. He was selling a lot of Cuban coins. He had a lot of the 5 peso and 20 peso gold coins. He surprisingly didn't have the 10 peso gold coin, which is the one I have. I started talking to him about that coin. He's telling me the series is not so much. I mean, there's literally only 2 years the coins were made, and for I believe it was the 20 peso coin, and the second year, I think it was 1916, there's only a handful of those made, and those are really expensive coins, he was telling me. So he knew a lot about that specific series of coins. It was interesting. I learned a little bit. I went around, I saw some dealers. I'd say maybe 40% of them were from the US. Another, maybe third of them were from, I don't know, probably most of the rest of them were from Europe. There were some from the UK, from Switzerland, from Spain, basically all over the world. But it was heavily European. There were probably more European dealers there than there were Americans. Again, this was an international coin show. There were a lack of some Asian and African coins. Again, I mentioned it was heavily European ancient coins. So I was walking around, and I went to my first stop where I purchased something was an American dealer. So I was curious. He had a whole little album of like hundreds of flips, guys. And check it out. I basically purchased this Australian 6-pence coin. I saw it. It's in beautiful condition, BU condition, it looks like to me. And the guy basically said it was, 25% off the price. So I got this for, I believe it was $9, which I thought was a pretty good deal. So, guys, the 6-pence in Australia with King, let's see who it is here, King George the 6th, basically Um, he was on the currency from 1938 until 1944, I believe, for this particular coin. So this was the 1943. And during the war years, I believe from 42 until 44, these coins were actually produced at mints in the United States, at the San Francisco Mint, the Denver Mint, and the Philadelphia Mint. So this particular coin, you could see D, you could actually see a mint mark on there, was actually produced at the Denver Mint, which I thought was pretty cool. Beautiful silver coin. The coin is actually, I believe it is 19.4 millimeters in diameter. And I just thought it was a really beautiful coin. I know in Australia there's a tradition of baking sixpence into pudding for Christmas time. So if you basically came across the sixpence, you basically had good luck for the following year. So you basically see on the front here, we have Australia's coat of arms. We have the kangaroo and the emu, or they say emu. And I think it's a really beautiful design. I believe the Australian pre-decimal currency was in effect from 1910 until February 13th, 1966, I want to say, or 64, is it? I forget. I think it's 66. And then on February 14th, 66, I believe, they implemented post-decimal, although they don't call it that. Basically, what they have today, the dollars. So, guys, this was a really cool score. And basically, almost next to it, I found this guy. So I was kind of, when I saw Kookaburra, I'm like, this can't be a whole, like, Kookaburra coin. And indeed, it was. So check it out, guys. I got a 2003 Kookaburra in really beautiful condition. That's why I'm wearing a glove. And this was also 25% off $75. You guys can do the math. It was like 56 it was like $56 or something. He basically gave it to me for 56. And really awesome find. I was really happy with that. Really nice dealer based out of Connecticut. I'm not going to show you guys who it was. They gave me a little card, but they even sat me down at their booth, guys. They showed me other, I'd say like probably 90% of the coins they had were graded coins. So he basically showed me graded Australian coins. You know, they really weren't that expensive. They were mostly silver, sixpence, or other shillings and other types of Australian pre-decimal currency, which I thought was really nice of them. They didn't have to do that. You know, I only ended up spending about $65, and they treated me really well, guys. So that was my experience with them. I then walked around, guys, and I came across another dealer, and he had a lot of gold in his showcase. I believe he was also from the US. I don't remember what state, but he was basically a US dealer, and I saw he had a lot of Mexican gold coins. So I asked him, I said, you know, is it just one, or do I have to buy them all? And he said, he gave me like a answer that was kind of a little bit facetious. I really didn't like the answer he gave me, but he basically said that I had to buy the whole thing. So then I proceeded to ask him how much, and you know, I was looking at it first, and then I asked him how much, and he looked at me like, oh, this guy's actually wants to buy it. You know, he looked at me kind of like he didn't expect me to want to buy it, which I thought was a bit snobbish of him, you know. And he told me, he's like, oh, well, I could do 5% above spot price. And then I said, okay, how much is that? And he's like, figured it out on his calculator. It's like $795. I was like, okay, sold. I want it. And guys, check it out. I got some Mexican gold here, guys. I got a couple of Dos Pesos. I got a 1920, as you can see here, which is a non-restrike year. I know JK Pioneer had given me one, which was very generous of him. And I have a restrike, 1945 probably. I also have 3 1945 2.5 pesos. And I have a non-restrike 1925 pesos. So in total, it is about 4/10 of an ounce of gold, guys. So for the month, including the sovereign, I am just under 2/3 of an ounce of gold. My challenge is to do basically an ounce a month of gold. I would have liked to do, the full ounce in one shot, but at 5% over spot for fractional, it was an offer that I couldn't refuse. As you can see, they're pretty much all except for the 5 pesos coin in BU condition. So I thought that was really awesome. So I picked up these gold coins, guys. It was really nice. I go to another guy, another US dealer, and he also has tons of flips from all different countries, coins, and I go through them and I come across this, guys. Check it out. Another Australian coin from 1943 again. We have the Australian shilling. This, I believe, is 24 millimeters in diameter. It has the S mint mark during World War II, so this was actually produced in San Francisco. I don't know what this says, if you could read it here. It says MS60, MS63 maybe, so maybe someone was trying to grade this coin, but I'm pretty sure it's in BU, low BU, maybe it's one of those grades. And really nice coin. This coin was actually made, I believe, until 1943, I want to say. This might be the last year, either 43 or 44. And again, it depicts King George VI, which was on the currency from 1938 until 1944, I believe, or 45 maybe, I want to say. And again, this is a pre-decimal currency. This went out of use in 66, I believe. And just a really nice coin. It has the Merino Ram on it. I know someone gave me a, I don't know if it was a shilling. It might have been a smaller coin with the Merino Ram on it. And I just really like that design. I think it's a really cool design. And this coin I basically picked up for $10. He gave it to me for, I believe. I don't know why, $8, $10.95, I don't know, but he basically just charged me 10 for it. So I was like, all right, whatever. It's a really beautiful coin. And he also showed me some Australian tokens. I know before 1910, Australia really didn't have an official currency. In 1901, there was some type of Commonwealth Act that created, the currency in the territories, the British territories. But before 1910, there was really no standard currency. So basically, they used tokens for different territories, and basically kind of like we had company tokens, company store tokens here in the US. During the gold rush, they basically had kind of like, or California gold or fractional gold coins. They basically had that for the different territories, or even, different cities within Australia. So I was looking through those, and I thought those were pretty cool, dating mostly from the 1800s. So that was nice. He was really nice. and I was basically, I was out to buy gold. I figured I'd get a couple Aussie coins, and I go over to this guy, young guy. I think he was also from the U.S. It was early in the morning. I saw this beautiful 2004 1 ounce kangaroo from, it's graded proof 70 by NGC. I said, how much is this? He said 2,400. And I said, can you do a little better on that? I know, spot price is pretty high. It's around a little bit over 1,800 USD here. Actually, over 1,900 USD. And I basically, he basically made a phone call. I think it was to his father. Again, he's relatively young, and he basically said, no, that's the best I could do. I'm just trying to make a little profit on this. And I was very polite to him. I said, okay, no problem. I understand. And I was honestly really considering buying that coin. I had the money, and I don't know, maybe I don't know what was going through his mind, but out of nowhere he says, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes, I'm going to raise the price. And I'm just going to keep raising the price throughout the day if it doesn't sell soon. I'm looking at this guy like, who the is he to talk to me like that? But you know what, guys? I kept my composure. My father always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And I simply walked away. He probably didn't even sell that coin. It was a modern coin. It was basically probably the only. I basically viewed thousands of coins, guys, and it was probably the only modern Australian, $100 gold coin that I saw at that auction, at the convention. And I don't think there was a big interest in that coin. So for him to say that to me at the very last minute like that, when I was seriously considering buying it. Maybe if he hadn't said that, I would have came back later to buy it. But you know what, guys? I just had a mixed response to my purchases. I don't know if I mentioned when I bought this, I mentioned a guy, he really wasn't that nice to me. It almost seemed like he didn't even want to sell it to me. I think he was kind of just, desperate for money. He's saying, oh, I could go to any dealer and sell this right now for 5% over spot. I could go to anyone here in this room and sell it to them, blah, blah, blah. I don't like when people put what they think is a pressure tactic, but to me, it's just being very disrespectful. Again, that wasn't everyone. When I bought these coins, which were, not that much money, they were very respectful, very nice to me. But then when I spend $800 on these, the guy was really nasty. When I was thinking about spending $2,400, the guy was even nastier to me. So it just seemed like the more money I wanted to spend, the ruder, the dealer was. I don't know if they thought I didn't have the money. I took a lot of money with me to that. I was expecting to buy a lot more. Unfortunately, due to people being rude and them not having the type of coins that I'm interested in, I really didn't purchase anything. So guys, it's a good lesson if you're in business. It doesn't matter what someone looks like, how they're dressed. I basically just wore jeans and like a long sleeve shirt. I didn't have anything that would indicate my status. They didn't know I had a lot of money. They probably thought I didn't have a lot of money. I was probably, I would say, one of the youngest, if not the youngest person there. Most of the people were a lot older than me. So maybe that plays into their perceptions of people, which I really don't like. You never should base a book based on its cover. So that was my experience with the coin show, guys. It was a mixed lot. I was somewhat disappointed, actually, because of the way I was treated. But then again, I was somewhat happy to see all these different coins from around the world. I also went over to the NGC table, I'm sorry, the PCGS table, guys, and I had brought a couple of pre-33 gold coins that I showed in my last gold video for the year, but I really didn't show them in depth. I just happened to show them in sight, plain sight. You could see the $1 gold coin. Basically had purchased a 1854 $3 Princess, which was the first year. I'm hoping that coin comes back in XF45, guys. And I also purchased a $1 1851 Indian Princess, so I'm hoping that coin comes back in the mid to high AU 55 to 58 condition. So I'm excited. They said, I spoke with someone from PCGS, the turnaround time is about 50 business days right now. So basically, I don't expect to get this coin back maybe until, March. I'm hoping by March I'll get them back. Guys, if you ever go to a coin show and you have one of the grading companies there, well, at least for PCGS, you basically can save on the shipping. And I basically have 8 free vouchers for the year. I want to use those all for pre-33 gold. I basically just said, what the heck, it's going to save a little bit on the shipping to PCGS. So I saved on that, and I just basically had to pay for the return shipping. So I'm really excited to see what those coins come back at. After the show, guys, I basically went to Stacks, and I basically noticed they had this, guys. Check it out. Little prospector round. So I picked up this prospector round, and I think I paid around maybe 30 or 31 for it. At the time, it was like $5 over spot. Has a little toning on it. I thought it was a nice little buy. And I basically got another Stacks and Bowers round. I really like this design. This was only $4 over spot, so I really liked it. Got another one of those with the Griffin on it. Then I went down to my guy in Chinatown. I was disappointed because a woman in the booth across from him said he's not in till 3. It was only like 12:30, so I wasn't going to hang around there. I went back uptown, went to the Diamond District. So I basically went to this place in the Diamond District where I knew they had some vintage bars. They had advertised on their website. The first time I went, the guy who, has the key to the safe, he basically wasn't there. So I decided to come back. This is maybe now 2 weeks later. Come back. The guy is actually there. And he opens the safe, and the bar that I wanted wasn't what he listed on his website. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. This is the first time in 6 months that someone has mentioned this to me. It wasn't exactly the same bar. I was kind of disappointed. It was he had the Elemental bar advertised on his website, but when I got there, he had the OPM mushroom bar. The 1 ounce ones, I know the OPM went out of business in 2012, Ohio Precious Metals, and he basically had the whole like 10 of them like together. And I thought, that would have been a pretty good vintage score, but I'm just gonna wait till the price of silver goes down. Maybe I'll pick some up. I said, okay, I just want 3, and then I saw when they were the mushroom bars, I'm like, I don't want them. I said, can you have any other types of world bullion, like Britannias or Kookaburras or Maples? He's like, yeah. He's like, I do. But he's like, the woman who knows the prices is not here. I sent her home early for the day. So I was thinking to myself, okay, you could tell me the price of the silver bars, but you can't tell me the price of the silver bullion. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. I had got the impression he just didn't want to sell it to me. So I told him, I said, I come here one time, you're not here, I can't get the bars. Now I'm here, and the woman who helped me last time is not here, and I can't buy the bullion because she's not here and she knows the prices in her computer. Like that didn't make sense to me. So I'm thinking, I'm not gonna even bother going back there. They just lost a potential customer. I basically went to another shop that I got my Wells Fargo bar tested out at. They sell silver mostly. They had some silver, they had some rounds, some bullion, some constitutional. So I was just like, this guy was there selling gold. This guy probably he had a 100 gram bar, it looked like, of gold. And he had some gold coins. I would say he probably had about at least maybe 5 or 6 ounces of gold. He was selling them. And basically they had like these huge wads of like $100 bills they were just handing over this guy. So I get they were busy, and I was just asking about some silver that they had, and they weren't too friendly. They didn't really want to help me. So I kind of said, I'll come back next time. I'll come back next time when you're not busy. And they kind of looked at me a little funny. But again, guys, it goes back to customer service. I understand they're dealing with someone who's selling a lot of money, and I probably wasn't going to spend more than, $100 on silver. But you know what, guys? They don't know how much money I have, or if I were to come back in the future, to possibly purchase a lot of silver or gold. So I was kind of disappointed again with the customer service. I don't know, it just wasn't a good day. Friday the 13th, I guess it wasn't my lucky day with customer service. So that's basically my story, guys. I managed to score a couple nice deals. Really happy with what I got. And I really appreciate this. If you stood till the end watching this video, thank you so much, guys. As always, like I say, stack that gold.